Good afternoon. This is Lisa Kyle. I'm addressing College English 2, University of Belize, Section 1.1. This is your feedback on Diagnostic Essays. So, in case you had the idea that I would not read your work carefully, as you can see from the email you are receiving, I really go through it carefully. That's what took me so long. It took me a lot of hours to do this. So even though this particular assessment is ungraded, I think it's really important to take it seriously. It's to eliminate some basic errors so that when we have our first major project, your grade is not compromised by, say, run-on sentences. I'm giving everyone in the class, except one person, some extra reading to do on different special areas that they need to work on. Since I have taken the time to find out exactly what I think you need to read and work on, I will probably throw the book at you, so to speak, if you do the same thing again in your graded assessment, right? So you should be able to do some research and eliminate that basic grammar error or punctuation mechanical error before we go on to the graded assessment. I'll put the link in your email. This is the textbook that has been used for this class for many years, and it's going to be very useful. I took most of the links from the textbook, so it's going to be useful for you. It'll be useful for you in a lot of areas, not just for grammar, etc. Please take time to read the recommended sections. That's probably going to really help you, I hope. I took my time and I read everything. I went through many links trying to find the best, most concise and useful guides for the certain areas that I saw, okay? So I know that essays are stress for people. Let's review the parts of them. The first thing is the title. Capitalize first, last, and all important words. Make sure that you put a title page, as Miss VR has over here. And make sure that the title is short and captures the reader's attention. The panic plague attracted my attention. I was like, I wonder what she's talking about there. And of course, she did support that. The first thing that we see after the title is the introductory paragraph, and it has certain parts that we need to go through. Okay? The first thing I want to make sure that you don't do is start the way this student did. Several people did this. This piece of composing will involve, or this essay will explain. Don't ever say what you're going to write. You just start writing, and you should start with a hook, something to get the reader's attention, a question, a vivid anecdote, an alarming statistic. This goes for all the writing you'll do for College English 2. Always start with a hook. Always get your reader involved, right? After the hook comes the background, from general to specific. Miss Alicia Pope has given us a very good example here of general to specific background. Every generation of teens is shaped by the social, political, and economic events of the day. Today's teenagers are no different, and they're the first generation whose lives are saturated by mobile technology and social media. It's very eloquent. She's got a correct APA in-text citation there also, just for a bonus, and she's gone from general, which is every generation, to this generation. Very smooth. The thesis, I'm so glad. Praise be the good Lord. Everybody in the class knows how to do a 3-point parallel thesis. I'm so happy about that. The bad news is that now that you've learned how to do that basic thesis with a 5-paragraph essay, you'll need to broaden, and not all of the work we'll do in this class is going to be covered by that. You'll have to develop other thesis styles, but luckily there are lots of I'll give you lots of templates, and there's actual help in that textbook that I was showing you earlier. So when it comes time for a more intricate thesis than what you're used to, I'll be ready to support you there. At least you know how to do the basics. After that, we have development. I tried to identify everybody's style. Almost everyone developed using examples and anecdotes, but we did have some compare-contrast, more sophisticated styles. All of the development styles are also presented in the textbook. The conclusion should repeat what you said in the beginning to kind of refresh in the reader's mind what you had to say, but not in the exact same words. I had a few people repeating the exact same words. Also, add a call to action or some kind of quote to really sum up. The last statement in an essay is called the clincher. Here's a great example by Miss Lizarraga, and it would be the last sentence here. Gen Z is surely a different generation than the rest, but that doesn't make us any less unique and powerful. Excellent example of a clincher. Here are some of the errors, and it's important to know their names. I don't want you to just see a lot of red marks on your essay and feel sad. What you want to know is what is the name of the problem, because if you know the name of the problem, you can go look up the problem by name. The World Wide Web is there for you, and then you can figure out how to address the problem. Okay, so misplaced commas, I'm seeing some of that. I'm seeing people put comma after the word although or comma after the word because, which you can't ever do. So if you have comma problems, follow a style guide. The internet's full of them. Wordy sentences, I'm having a lot of problem with that. It's not really something that the internet's going to help you with that much, though. That's something where you just use your proof and your editing skills to figure out the clearest and most concise way to express yourself. Run-on sentences is section 1.1's most common problem. The comma splice is your most common problem. But some people have old-fashioned run-ons too. The textbook addresses this and has exercises, so you can use the assigned reading there. Passive voice, I only have one student who's having a problem with using too much passive voice. I gave you a link. Lack of parallel structure, I have a lot of that. If the link that I gave you is not going to be enough, look that up. Okay, if I have the word parallel structure in my comments and you don't know what that means, take it upon yourself to figure that out and address the problem. Wrong word choice. I gave some people links to commonly misspelled words. Yeah, there's a lot of problem there. Sentence fragments, I see less of that, only some. It's true that you can use sentence fragments by design when you're a professional writer, but when you're in a college English course, it's probably better to refrain from doing that because you are too close to the people who don't know what they're doing, and you might be mistaken for one of them. The vague pronoun references, I had 5 or 6 students with problems with this, and it's addressed in the reading. I don't have anyone overusing ellipses and dashes. I do have some problems with improperly formatted quotations. You can find some templates in the reading for how to format quotations. And if you can't, feel free to write me and I'll give you some more links, because I actually have a really good book with formats for how to incorporate citations that I didn't give you yet. Here is some very good advice. Read the work aloud. Make sure it sounds correct. When you read it aloud, it shouldn't sound silly, it should sound right. Take time, read it aloud a couple of times. Read it to someone else if you feel funny reading to yourself. And definitely proofread, and definitely try to get other people to proofread. That is going to help your grade a lot. And do as much reading as you can of other people's writing, right? Books for pleasure, books for other subjects. The more reading that you can do, the better. I don't know if social media helps that much because it's full of errors, but try to find some actual English to read. These following images should be the errors should be really easily identifiable to you all. And you should be shaking your head sadly and saying, oh no, I don't write like this. So with the citation, you didn't have to do that for this essay, but if you did, I like it that you showed me that you knew how to do it. I had some people that were going a little overboard with citation and citing definitions of words which are common knowledge. You never cite common knowledge, only something that only one person knows or only a few people know, or is the writing or the research of someone else. Dictionary definitions are known as common knowledge, and so are encyclopedia definitions. Okay? Most everyone in the class used first person for this essay. It does lend itself to it, and no one said you couldn't, so I'm not blaming you for it. But in academic writing, and that will be probably everything else that you write in this class, you don't use I, me, we, us, or you. You write in the third person only, okay? You can use first person and second person only for reflective or personal essays as directed, okay? And of course, if you can't figure out how to do that, I'll translate it, the second phrase here again. First person may only be used for reflective or personal essays as directed. Do you see how I took the first person pronoun out? That's what you'll have to do for your academic writing, okay? A couple people have some not that appropriate tone, very casual, informal. I don't want any slang. I don't want any, you know, this is college writing. I'm supposed to be teaching you to do academic writing. No slang. Don't use words like stuff. Don't use like as a preposition, meaning it's just like this, or he's like that, or this is like what they said. Only use like as a verb, okay? That's a pretty common problem. And here are my last words to you, in case you feel like I'm being overly critical and you're, you know, hating on you or whatever. I grew up in the United States. I moved to Belize when I was young, but I was already very fluent in English. It's my first language. That's why it comes naturally to me, and that's why I can easily spot all the errors. However, it actually makes me less intelligent than the rest of you, because multilingual people are smarter. They have more neural connections, right? So feel good about yourself. Feel good about all the languages that you speak. Don't feel bad about me when I'm correcting you. I'm not trying to do it to look down on you. I'm just trying to get you to become better writers, okay? So, lots of love from me to you, and do your reading, okay? Oh, and I'm not doing a meeting this week because Mr. Foreman has not yet made an assignment, and I sent out an email asking everyone, hey, do you need a meeting this week? And only one person answered. So, and he did not seem to want the meeting. So, actually, he seemed not to have understood my email. So anyway, I won't meet with you. I think we'll wait until there's an assignment. But this is some feedback and some further reading for you from me with lots of love.